Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Wolak. We're here each and every day as we explore and discuss life together. Today, maybe this week, I want to talk about this idea of fear. What is fear? Here's the best thing that I can say. Fear is simply a feeling that we have based on an expectation that we've created about some area of life. That's a pretty simple way of looking at it, isn't it? Fear is simply a feeling we have based on an expectation that we've created about life. The question you got to ask is that expectation realistic or is it unrealistic? That's a big question to ask because most expectations are unrealistic. They're either too quick in timing, they're too big, we haven't prepared ourselves for it, we bought into the illusion that's being cast everywhere right now. I don't know that there's anything that you read anymore that's not centered on getting you to be fearful. I look at all the YouTube videos I watch from spiritual people, spiritual teachers. I look at those independent sources that I view. Everything is about fear. No one is talking about love. No one is talking about conscious creation. Creating a life that you can't wait to live. That's a huge thing. Creating a life you can't wait to live. We've allowed so much clutter physically and mentally and emotionally in our life. And that clutter causes us to be fear because we're, well, I've got this stuff. I've got to take care of this stuff. How am I going to take care of this stuff? Do I have the time to take care of this stuff? Oh my God, I've got these views. I can't do this. I can't do that because I've got these views. Think about all the fear we're creating because we've totally made our lives more complex than necessary. Excuse me. The more we simplify, the more realistic we can set our expectations. Maggie says, always have a book in my hand, so really like that you have put your words in print. Thanks, Mag. In the meditation today, everybody held up their book. I thought that was pretty cool. So we're here talking about fear. I got Anita out there. She's in Tanta, Egypt. Love it. I don't know where Tanta is. I know where Egypt is. Here's what I know. The Egyptian heritage, history is absolutely fascinating. It's older than just about anything. It goes back thousands and thousands and thousands of years. The Egyptian god Horus, which was 2,000 or 3,000 years before Jesus, has the exact same story of virgin birth. The whole thing is exactly the same as Jesus. Isn't that interesting? So many interesting things. How did the Egyptians, with the technology we believe they had, do and build what they built? Whoa. I don't recall, Zandy, about somewhere in time. Sounds familiar. I'd watch Celestine Prophecy. Celestine Prophecy is one of my favorite movies, spiritual. Kathy Crowley says, suggestions for fighting fear, combating fear. First, you just get a cough drop. This way you don't cough all the time while you're talking. When fear pops up, first thing I do is ask the question, what's my expectation? Why do I have that fear? What expectation did I set up? Is that expectation real? Where did that expectation come from? Was it an expectation I chose, or was it an expectation I blindly accepted for myself that was maybe given to me by my parents, by the church, by politicians? And then I ask, what was the intention behind them creating that expectation? See, so many people are walking around today fearing COVID. I'm not saying COVID is not something that can cause you some pain. I know, I'm getting over it. I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, you got to look at the science. And the science says that if you have a healthy body with no comorbidities, you have a healthy weight, the possibility of you being hospitalized or dying is very, 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 very remote. So then you put into perspective, should I have a great fear? Why? Those are questions I ask myself. I got COVID. Took me 2.5 weeks to get over it. Wasn't the most pleasant experience in the world, but I got over it. Here's the key thing. Instead of focusing on the fear of getting COVID, why are we not focusing on creating a healthy body and a healthy lifestyle? Notice that if you're focusing on avoiding COVID, there's fear because you're avoiding. You don't want to get something. But what about the idea that you can be creating a healthy life? What about that idea? What could you do today to create a healthier life? Could it be drinking more water? Could it be eating non-processed foods? Could it be going out and taking a walk? Could it be doing some resistance training? Could it be doing meditation? Julie says, not everyone is going to be as healthy as you. Well, that's true, Julie. Do you know why? Because those people are not making the choices I'm making. That's why. You got to make healthy choices. Cutting down on bad habits doesn't mean focusing on not giving into the habit. Oops, you disappeared. Okay. The news, using the term loosely, never talks about health and preventive measures. Never does. Never does. People who have brought up the fact that 78% of the people that have been hospitalized or have died of COVID have one comorbidity in common, and that one comorbidity is obesity. Someone talks about that and they naturally get bombarded. How dare you say someone's obese? Well, the fact of the matter is, obesity is a medical term. It's a term based on your height and your weight, according to what medical profession says a certain level is considered obese. And when you're obese, you're subject to greater health hazards. I don't know how else to say that. I'm not shaming anyone. Fear does wreak havoc on the immune system. No question about it. Fear, that's why we meditate. To get rid of fear, to get rid of these crazy thoughts. Ian says, you once told me when I was fearing something to think about the opposite. And if you find yourself fearing COVID, think about health. Of course. Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind says, if something's going astray, don't focus on what's going wrong. Focus on what you want. Put your energy toward that which you seek to experience. So in light of the fact that we're talking about COVID, put your focus on being healthy. Julie says, that is my only risk. Wait, okay, Julie, I'll give you 1 year. 1 year, can you lose a half a pound a week? Because if you can, a year from now, you'll be 26 pounds lighter and you'll be healthier. And that's a realistic goal. That's not a goal that you fear. See, that's a key thing, setting realistic goals, not unrealistic goals. Setting realistic expectations, not unrealistic expectations. Becca says, they want us to live in fear and be sick. My grandmother, growing up Christian Scientist, and commercials about meds went on mute. Yeah, Christian Science. Boy, if you had that upbringing, that's a powerful upbringing, because they're even more absolute about physical health than Science of Mind is, because Mary Baker Eddy and Emma Curtis Hopkins, they didn't believe in doctors whatsoever. In religious science, we believe that God is in the doctor as well. But you're absolutely right. Think about the television commercials, all the drug commercials. People in Europe laugh at us. They don't have those commercials in Europe. But you know, they're going to allow them here. Why? Because they're paying the television ads. Because if you didn't have the drug commercials, do you think there'd be many ads for television anymore? I don't think so. Why? Because very few people are watching television, aren't they? Most people are doing streaming things. Interesting. Zandy says, I'd like to move somewhere nice one day. I know it's all about where my mind is, but the outside world can also make a difference. I know people that live in Maui, Hawaii, and they are absolutely miserable. I know people live all over the world and they're miserable. I know people that live all over the world and they're happy. It is a state of mind. SI says, have you manifested an exact amount of money? Yes, I have. I set my goal in the year 2000 to have a specific net worth. I achieved that net worth 2 years ago. Now I've got to set a new goal, a new net worth goal. Because for me, it's not about the money you bring in, it's what's your net worth. That's the determination of wealth to me. Your assets minus your liabilities, what's left over? And can you live on your assets? Europe doesn't have politics controlling as much because they're not allowing the money. Yeah, Julie, you lost all the weight once and then gained it all back because it's an inside job. Yeah, you got to change your mental image of your body. Real says, was Jesus a teacher of the science of mind? Some of the stuff that Jesus taught is really right in alignment with science of mind. But the problem that we have when we're looking at Jesus is, what did Jesus say versus what was created about Jesus that we've been taught we have to believe. There's certain quotes that I love of Jesus. It is not I, but it is the Father within me. It is, I come here so that you may have life more abundantly. This I do, you can do, and more. It is done unto you as you believe. Those 4 quotes right there tell you everything you need to know about what Jesus, everything you need to know about living is right in those 4 quotes. Richard says, I'm calculating my daily expenses and working to create 2 times that amount per day of work, so that in that way, every day I work is equivalent to a day off in the future. Love it. Corey says, I don't have television, social media. Those don't add value to my life. Today as yesterday, I chose to only allow good in. Good. Zandy says, I'm starting to accept and listen more to myself. It helps with being in the moment. Of course it does. Of course it does. Being in the moment means you don't have fear of the future. Being in the moment also means that you're not dragging the past into the present, where the past causes us to have much of our fear. Well, gang, boy, we went on a great discussion today. I want you to know that we're going to continue this discussion tomorrow as we continue to explore fear and how do we reclaim our power back and stomp on this fear. Stomp on it, eliminate it from our lives. And we don't care what's happening around us because we understand that our mind and our ability to think is the most powerful tool that we've got. And we can use it any way we choose. So with that, go create a great day. And know that if no one tells you this today, I will. I love you and I accept you just like you are. Have a great one, everybody. Aloha.